Ladies and gentlemen, the EE PowerTalk episode 93. My name is Daddy Blessing.
Welcome to the EE PowerTalk episode 93. My name is Elvis.
And today we are discussing the cost of running a business. Both of us has been. Ni kitu mmenipea.
Hiyo ni hidden cost.
Hidden cost. This is a hidden cost for my failure. Some people here are happy when I fail. So hidden cost of running a business. We've been running businesses for quite a while. I would say practically this is my third year running a business. It's majorly on the freelance side, but it has costs. I've been in the normal businesses world because I've been employed in a business that is running normally. Some of the costs that you ought to take note of definitely is a compliance. For a person who has been employed maybe at a shop, a normal shop, because we were doing some repairs. I've been employed on a cyber. I've been employed on a shop yenye walikuwa nauza gas and all those things. The costs zenye naonanga, and most of them zinakuanga unplanned for, ni licenses. Unalipa county, I don't know what, for running a business permit. It's called a business permit.
A business permit.
Yeah, then last time I checked, in Nairobi you have to pay for fire. For I don't know what, to have an extinguisher at your shop.
The motor ikiwaka, those guys never come.
They never come. Or they show up na nini. Na gari haina maji.
Na vibuyu.
They show up with those kinini.
The funny thing about fires in Kenya is that ni wananchi huo wanazimia mtu moto.
Exactly.
Not even the fire stations and everything. I think even these trucks that you see, they're just for show.
Yeah.
Ni PR too.
I remember there was a time there was a fire in Githurai, and those fire extinguishers showed up without the water cannons and all those things. They were like, sasa mmekuja to discuss vile tutadu. Na mmekuja like imekimbia sana Thika Road, like ikilianga. Muiondoke, inafika bila maji. And people are like, tunauliza kama kuna pahali karibu kuna mto tuchote, then tukuje.
Umekujia sasa ama?
Yeah, so like licenses are very important, and you need to take note of those. For a person who is not really in the physical shop and all that, kuna vitu sisi tunalipia kama freelancers. Subscriptions. I will talk on my own behalf. Kulipia softwares.
Adobe Premiere Pro.
Hiyo kitu before uitafutie tiba, unakuanga umezunguka hii dunia. My goodness. Like one software you have to pay like $23 per month. Adobe Creative Suite, for like a person like me who has a full production, I need like 5 of their softwares. I need After Effects, I need Premiere Pro, I need Lightroom, I need Photoshop, and I need Illustrator.
Where? Na Prelude ni ya nini by the way? Prelude is for preparation too.
Is there Prelude?
I've heard of Adobe Prelude. When I was studying Adobe Premiere Pro, there was something we used to do with Prelude. But sasa nika realize it's not like as much.
Oh, then the Adobe Media Encoder. I need 6.
Yes. And kuna ni mingi. There's another one called Adobe Bridge.
Yeah. There's Adobe Bridge. There's Adobe Fresco.
Character Animator.
Yeah, Character Animator.
Dreamweaver.
Yes. Dreamweaver. There's the other one for coding. Yeah. Yenye it's a supplement for the Windows Studio something.
Yeah, it's Visual Studio. It's Dreamweaver.
Yeah. Dreamweaver is a supplement for Visual Studio. Yeah. So now, for us, those subscriptions, most of the time, because sometimes when you're on a subscription, it's automated. You don't get to realize how much you have spent until now ukuje kufanya consolidation yako ya mahesabu. Because for us, you pay when nimepata hiyo $23. So wacha niweke kwa ile credit card, wakate pesa yao. Nimepata hiyo $20 ama $30, wacha niweke kwa credit card, wakate pesa yao. At the end of the month, unakuta subscriptions pekee zimeenda na 20,000.
My subscriptions normally go to around 60,000.
Yo!
You know, an AI tool, like ukiangalia kuna AI tool, like right now we are still in the beginner stage of AI. So AI tools are expensive. No.
Yes.
ChatGPT nalipianga 2. Niko na...
You pay the $200 one?
No, I pay the $20 one.
Okay.
But two of them.
Okay.
There's a lady who helps me in social media. So nampatianga access ya moja. Na mimi natumia hiyo ingine. Siwezi lipa $200. Right?
I'm like,
$200 bana. Then, the most expensive one I normally pay is one called Relum. Relum is like $59 a month. It helps you inakugeneratea site map ya site and helps you generate like an entire wireframe and everything. So we kazi yako tu ni kutransfer to Figma and probably giving it to a developer. But nimenote pia you don't have to pay it every month. Ukiangalia vitu kama majorly my costs zinakuanga AI tools. AI tools ndo zinakuanga very high costs. Hosting packages.
Hosting.
Me the hosting package I pay is a hostinger na nalipa almost 30,000 per year. But if you do the maths, it's cheaper to pay 30,000 per year than to pay like 5k per month or even 4k.
Correct.
Because like sasa kama unafanya VPS, a virtual private server, utagongwa vizuri. But the good thing is that you can host as many websites as possible. So you can pre-sell, you can resell to clients.
For us, when it comes to production, most of the subscriptions that we pay for is Epidemic Sound, so that we don't have...
Epidemic by the way,
for copyright, so that when you, like, we are working with on a client's project and they are going to post it on YouTube, you don't want... Umelipwa pesa mingi, then kitu kidogo tu inafanya video ya client, it drop you down.
Ambiwa cannot be monetized.
So we pay for Epidemic Sound. Then there is another AI sound development tool called Suno. Remember I showed you a time
kangoma ile mlitoa.
So we pay for Suno. Then for as much as overheads are concerned in that our production, we try to keep production costs as low as possible. So cost most likely zinakuanga za those licensing music licensing platforms. Then when it comes to the actual production is now the crew, the site, the locations, the transports and all those things. So now one of the most important things you can do as a business is to maximize the opportunities that you find to keep your costs low. Because when the cost of production is low, you'll maximize on profit and also building. Most of the time tunapatanga, the only profit that you have made is only to keep you running as a person. Like you've paid your people and all that, like unabaki na 5k kwa mfuko, sasa utadu nayo nini? You can't invest back to buy maybe a camera. Cameras are expensive. Stupid expensive.
And you see, not even the camera itself, but the accessories you have to buy.
Exactly.
I went to buy a camera, Sony ZV-10. Mimi nimeuziwa camera, nikamwambia, hii inaweza blur background. Kaniambia no. You have to get a lens. I was like, what do you mean I have to get a lens? Nikambo, I have to go and buy a lens, a specific lens that can do that.
Yes.
Lens was 38,000.
Yeah.
Nikaenda microphones. Microphones like DJI, the main ones, I bought them at 60,000. No, nasikia ni Sony ZV-10.
Yeah.
Camera is even cheaper.
Yeah.
Body, ukiuziwa body, wait until you go. Nilienda nikaona, I was looking at photographers. Nikamuuliza, hii kamera hii, inaona hiyo unaambianga someone's, like this one is a person in business. Unamuuliza, by the way, mbona unalipisha picha 1,000?
Yes. So, nikupiga tu.
Nikupiga tu. Akaniambia kuja nikuonyeshe. Hii body peke yake ni 400,000. I could not believe it. Lens is more expensive than the body.
Absolutely.
Then he tells me, kuja uone lights. So I sat down and I said, okay, I understand. But I've come to realize, don't underestimate the cost. You know, kuna ile unasemanga budget yangu ni 100,000. Double it. Kama unataka kitu ya 100,000, especially when it comes to equipment and stuff.
Yes.
Don't, if your budget is 100,000, have like 150 or 200,000. Yes. Utalia. Nilienda kubuy hizi microphones. When I was buying the microphones, I thought, kumbe ni kubuy tu nakuja kutumia. Nimebuy microphones, nakuja kwa nyumba naambiwa zinahitaji stand. What do you mean? Nikaenda nikanunua stand. Kurudi nikaambia msee, by the way, nasikia hii sound iko na pop. Kaniambia you need a what? A pop filter.
A pop filter.
Then I was like, okay. Then nikarudi tena nikamuuliza, I want to connect this microphone with a camera. I don't know, I have to buy a what?
Another adapter.
Kitu fulani hapo hivyo.
So now, when it comes to, like, those are the things that you straight up you're not concerned about because you don't think they exist.
They are hidden.
They are hidden because some costs, let's say for example you're running an e-commerce platform, you don't realize how much the cost of conversion or the cost of transaction is until you start transacting heavy transactions. Let's say someone is cutting you 3%. Then someone makes a purchase of, let's say, 100,000.
3%.
That is 3K.
Ishaenda.
Then you're like, 3K for a transaction. It doesn't really make sense.
Hapo ndo unafikanga, you create your own platform.
Exactly. So now, for a person who is running an online business, some of the overhead that you're supposed to look at is those subscriptions. How much are you paying in subscription? How much money are you making to sustain those subscriptions?
True.
Because it doesn't make sense for you to be paying for ChatGPT $20 and the things that you're creating with ChatGPT are not even bringing anything close to that.
There's no ROI.
There's no return on investment.
There's something I'm liking over here. Time wastage. Time wastage is a hidden cost.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a very common thing with so many people because a business owner knows hajui kutengeneza content. Instead of wasting 5 days akingangana hapo, how about akuja lipe mtu 3,000 afunzwe how to do it.
Yes.
You save a lot of time. Most people will also waste a lot of time and effort in useless things that I think you can delegate to other people who can do it for you better.
Actually, when you start focusing on such things, actually it turns from being a cost to becoming an expense. Because a cost for something is what you pay up front. It has costed me this. It becomes an expense when it is wasting your money and your time. Wasting, not spending, because there is a difference. There's a difference between you spending your money and you wasting your money. So it becomes an expense when your time is wasted on something that you could have delegated, something that you could have paid someone a couple of dollars to do for you. And you be focusing on other things such as business development, looking for other opportunities, stocking up, or even business research. It doesn't make sense for you, Elvis, to be doing everything. It becomes now an expense on your end.
Actually, one of the things I've realized that so many people don't really get to understand is if something is going to take much of your effort, and it takes you time to think. Like unajua kasa hii, like say, right now, I don't need to struggle with cameras.
Yeah.
You know what? TB. Na situfanya aje ni kugonge chai yako.
Exactly.
Coming to think of it, I think so many people are business owners try to reduce costs, waste a lot of time.
Exactly.
Like I was looking at nowadays, there's an AI that can automate your messaging on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
You get a dedicated number, msi akiuliza kitu, the AI responds on your behalf.
Yes.
So usiku hutaamka usiku kuanza kureply to messages. This AI can do things for you. Like if someone is inquiring about a product, it's going to respond. And it's going to be like, it can even reach out and tell them, hey, by the way, you never need, are you still interested in this? You get, if you, something like that.
Yes.
But now I've come to realize that many business owners don't want to try and do that.
Yes.
Reason is, they think that it's an extra cost. And an extra cost is going to eat up on their profits. So they would rather waste a lot of time doing this manual. Unakutanga business owner ameingia kwa matatu. Instead of relaxing, ako busy. And by the way, there's this whole thing about business owners wanting to be busy all the time.
Yeah, you're just busy.
And you're wasting a lot of time. I tend to think that owning a business is not meant to make you just be busy.
Yeah.
In fact, I had something interesting. Create systems in your business and leave.
Yeah.
Let people now use your systems.
Yes.
Like you're just there to oversee. But if you realize that for the business to run, that you have to be present, you just have an expensive job.
Yeah. True. If your business cannot run without you, and by that, I mean all of us, because you're not yet there. For me, my business really depends on me. Yeah.
In fact, if like a social media manager, doesn't, you don't trust your social media manager to post for you.
Yes.
Like there's nothing you're doing.
There's nothing you're doing, because now it is an expense. It is a cost because you're paying that social media manager. It is an expense because again you have to go and reconfirm what you have given the social media manager to do. Some of these costs starts to creep in, and these people have to take note of this. When you start scaling very quickly.
Exactly.
Just because DB Studios is tumeanza kupata clients on a certain level, now it's now my time now to hire 10 more crew members.
Never do that.
My friend, that project ya kwanza itafinish. Utatafutia watu nini ingine wapi, especially for us who depend on one time projects or not even one time projects. You have an engagement with a client but it is seasonal. You have to do like after every 3 months, that's when you're engaging that client again. After every maybe 6 months, that's when you are engaging that client again. Like for instance, for the website, a fresh website, maybe the most immediate correction that you can do, even if it is generated from scratch, the most immediate correction that you can do on a website or a revamp is minimum after 6 months.
Sure.
Let's say you have hired now 10 developers because umepata project now with 10 clients. Sasa unataka zichapwe haraka and you have hired them on a permanent basis.
You can imagine.
And you have opened an office, Terra Creations, in Westlands, na uko na desk 10 za developers. What that has done for you, I'm not saying it's bad to scale, but you have scaled too quickly. Where are you specifically in business? The person that you're bringing on board, does your business really need that person? That machine you're bringing on board, does your business really need that machine at that specific moment? Because I've seen many people, especially in beauty industry and all those, they are buying big machines and all that, but the market does not need them. You know, they have not done their own market research to know my clientele need this gadget, or my services, the services that I'm offering, the only deficiency that I have is that the fact that I don't have this machine. They are running to get the machine, then now watafutia now clientele your machine. The first time I bought my own cameras, ilikuwa imefika mahali nimesumbuka sana sasa kuhaya. Now I need my own, but I started na cameras za kuhaya. You see, sometimes when you scale too fast, you relax, and you do, those overheads zinakupatanga all at once. Month 1, month 2 you might be okay. Month 3, when now DB is asking for his salo because he has created content for Terra Creations for a whole month, nime record videos 500 and you guys are not paying me. Yeah, you start telling us now we have paid developers, now you have to wait nini. All those lugha mingi zenye you could have prevented by not scaling up so quickly.
Yeah, I think people are also after, unajua kuna ile watu wanafikiriaga this big is always the next thing. Like people think that for a business, like if you're running a furniture shop, instead of using that furniture shop to make your systems right, after we realize now the furniture shop is making like 400,000 every month, next month 800,000, the next month 2 million.
Yes.
You know what people do? They decide to open another branch. Juu unafikiria the other branch can also make 2 million. Unafungua branch, unakuja unakuta it's not performing as much. In fact, like I was looking at it in terms of supermarkets. You might realize that top supermarket brands, and I mean not the local ones.
Yes. The Carrefours of the day.
I think it's Carrefour. For me, I think Carrefour, they know what they're doing. Carrefour, these are the quick bag supermarkets. I personally don't think they really know what they're doing, because especially when you bring in the aspect of family, like it's a family-led business.
Yes,
you're always going to find issues.
Yes,
and that is why, like for me, I don't want to mention the name of this supermarket, but I prospect it's going to be closing soon enough. Ukienda uangalia their systems, first of all, you can easily know how a company is run or a business is run by looking at the people in it.
Exactly.
Ukikuta employees are always noisy, they are always disrespectful, wako tu hivyo, these guys are underpaid, they're overworked.
Yes.
So they don't care.
One thing I've seen in family-owned businesses and franchises, because I've interacted with some, the reason why they expand most of the time is because, let's say we are brothers. Now we want to expand. I'm running the Nairobi branch, and now we want us to expand the Nakuru branch so that you, Elvis, you can be with the Nakuru branch, and now I can remain with the Nairobi branch. It doesn't work like that. Unapata now, yes, we have scaled and all that, but the Nairobi, the Nakuru branch is still an infant to a level that it is still depending on the Nairobi branch. But we want to split. Instead of expanding because systems are allowing us to expand. Instead of expanding because the profit margin and the size of our brand is allowing us, is actually asking. There's something I said about businesses. Businesses will always ask you for whatever necessary they need at specific levels. When it comes to a brand, there'll come a time, different stages. You start by ideation on your own, building and your vision, your mission and all those things by yourself. There'll come a time that brand is so big beyond you need a brand manager. What if you start off with a brand manager? Huyo brand manager atakuja kukuletea mavision na mission ya kichwa yake, kitu nafikiria, and you build towards what the brand manager or the quote unquote celebrity or the people that you're working with are. I've seen people work with celebrities, then when celebrities leave that business, the brand is gone.
Oh, that's true. It's a common thing that you're seeing nowadays. And but they pay a story ya kuleta influencer. You know, guys think that when you bring in an influencer into your business, you'll make a lot of money. I don't think it really has to work like that.
Yeah.
You mean naangalia mse, someone is making like 500,000 turnover every month. You get an influencer who is charging you 200,000. You see, an influencer is not going to give you sales.
Yes.
They'll give you visibility.
Yes.
Now, most business owners, hawanangi, like for example, you get that influencer, you pay them 200,000 shillings. Now unawapea goodies. You know?
Yes.
So you might expect that they will bring more business to you.
Yeah.
Wait until that influencer afanywe majambos. Na watu wajue uliwork na yeye.
Yes.
That's another hidden cost. The damages that are there, those damages I don't think you can actually even. That's why unakuta, like, have you ever seen companies releasing press statements about an influencer they worked with like 2 years ago?
Exactly.
Alafu unajiuliza mbona wana release statements and then kidogo hivi ndo huo influencer ameshikwa na scandal.
Yeah.
So like the story now is going to be like, kumbe even brands didn't want to. Now it's not the brand's problem.
Yes.
It is a you problem.
Yes.
So I've even come to realize that even in marketing itself.
Yes.
Like I normally say that for me, marketing has to be something that leads to sales.
Yeah, actually I was on a call last night with one of my clients. We did a very huge project. A very huge project. But it failed. And the reason why it failed is because some of the things that we were looking at, by the way, it's good to admit most of the things that we work on clients, we don't have 100% success rate.
You don't even have 100% certainty that it's going to work.
Exactly. So when some such things happen, we admit that this campaign didn't work. And the reason why it didn't work, we didn't have a clear call to action. We went straight forward into production. For instance, when it comes to production, I will write you a quote from DB Studios. The cost of production, recording the videos and all those things. When you don't have a clear call to action and we have given the Nini a go ahead, it becomes an expense on your end. Personally, when we own up to the fact that there was a discrepancy in communication, but at that time it couldn't have been communicated because kila mtu alikuwa na hype ya nini, this thing is going to work. But we didn't have a clear call to action on. So it ended up being an expense on the company's end, because they invested so much on distribution. Inakuta, because the ninis don't have a clear call to action. The reason why we were recording that content, the time has passed because the time between recording and distribution has taken too long because of some things that were not confirmed in the brand, not even the content itself. Within the brand, there are some things that were not yet aligned. So we started with the final product without aligning some of the things here. So it was a cost. So now, before you even start marketing, because that is where you were headed, at least have a clear call to action. When I come in as DB, recording videos nitakulipisha.
Sure.
Editing those videos nitakulipisha. Bringing the final product on post-production nitakulipisha. All those things, because the product has been delivered. Okay? You wanted clear videos, you speaking and you telling people of your product, and we have done that. So you're supposed to pay for that. Is it a mistake on my end? Not really. Is it a mistake on your end? Not really. Why? We didn't sit down in the beginning, both of us, to kind of understand what do we want. If you bring in me personally as DB, as the brand manager, hizo vitu zote ninge scout na nione hapa na hapa. But you brought me as DB Studios. Kazi ya DB Studios ni kuchukua videos na tupige picha and we deliver. Now you are people to sambaza the content. So as that might come as a cost in marketing. And marketing, when you invest so much and you're not seeing results even after like 6 months, it is very very frustrating.
True.
Before you even go to marketing, have a clear call to action. What do I want to achieve with this marketing campaign? Is it visibility? Is it sales? Is it people just knowing I exist or my business exists? Like, what do you really want to achieve before you even invest thousands and thousands of money into production?
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It's a lesson hata mimi have learned, by the way. Unaenda unatengenezea client graphics. They pay you 1,000 and then they tell you that hii poster haimpei kazi. I don't know if you've seen that where people, you help someone with content creation. You're not the sales.
Yes, you're not the sales team.
You're not the sales team. But you're part of the process that leads to sales. Anyway, it's an interesting thing.
But maybe on that also, because I want to save people from giving us money for free. Yeah? Stop giving people money for free then complaining. Because if you call me for production, I'll come. And I'll come with my team. And it's a team that I'm paying. Yeah? Nikikuja hapo kwa set, nikuja na a DOP, me being the director, and a set manager, and our equipment. Trust you me, you have to pay us. But if you don't have a channel where you're going to channel that kind of content, or you don't have a vision kwenye unataka kupeleka your content, please usikuje kucomplain. If you don't record, hata haitusaidii, I will ask you, what was your distribution format? What did you want to achieve with this?
Yeah.
Because what you paid for is the production. Do you have the final product or do you not have? You have it. Okay, now the cost iliingia kwa sababu you did not align, or did not help us align even in the production with what you want to achieve.
True.
Exactly.
Communication.
Yeah, communicate. Communication will cost you.
All right. Personally, I've learned a lot hapa. But mimi story ya kanjo tu ndo spendangi. Licenses.
Yeah.
You go and open a business.
Yeah.
You go and apply for a license and you're told, "Hangaziju ya license ya hii." But if there's one body I hate completely in the country, is MCSK. Na Kenya KFCB.
Yeah.
One time I was running a cyber cafe. These guys came and told me that because unajua sana nilikuwa mdogo. I remember this huge dude in Nyeri came and akakuja akaniambia,
"You're playing music loud."
At I'm playing music, I need to pay for a license. Then I was like, what do you mean I have to pay for a license? And you see these guys threaten you, by the way.
Yeah.
Walikam wakaniambia watabeba printer. I remember there's this mother I saw. I've never seen such a rude woman. Like alikuwa mkubwa wa MCSK something huko Nyeri. I don't know if kama alikuwa mkubwa.
Yeah.
She comes to my shop. Literally, I closed the business because I didn't want to pay that license.
Yeah.
Like nilikuwa na plan kufungua movie shop. I completely closed it.
Yeah, because for you it doesn't make
really it doesn't make sense for me to pay. I don't know how much. Na mimi hata hapa siwezi hata tengeneza hata 200. So I decided to close that business and focus on cyber. Unajua alikuja akaniambia I have to pay the license. I have to pay sijui angazi. Nikamwambia I can't pay for something I'll not be using. No, because and then kumbe it's like a scam. The reason they're telling you to pay is so that you can send the money to not to the
to specific numbers.
You're going to send to an account number. Atakwambia amereceive. And they're going to give you a license, by the way. Then there's something about KFCB. So you wonder, why? Mbona nilipe license ya KFCB tena? Why don't you put these two bodies together?
Yeah.
And the most surprising thing is, after hapo, kanjo wako hapo. That's another license. And then kidogo unasikia angazijui NEMA.
NEMA. For environmental and sound, I don't know what.
Then you sit down and you again. Kidogo mkiwa mmekaa hivi. I don't know, there is another what body that has come up again. But there's a reason as to why I actually stopped opening up physical businesses.
There was a time I was working on a cyber in 2018 and those people used to harass us. Like if they come and let's say you have paid for Spotify. Spotify, there was Apple Music. They had an iPod. Pod. Yeah. It was called an iPod. You could listen to podcasts and music. Yeah, that one. So if you have downloaded music straight from Apple Music and you have paid Apple Music to download that music, if they find music on your laptop, you have to pay.
These dudes and you see this music hata ukilipa hiyo do, it doesn't
go to the artist.
It doesn't go to the artist at all.
Yeah.
I actually think that bodies like MCSK in Kenya are a scam.
100%.
Because first of all, like I was listening to this thing about there's a time they wanted to tax content creators. Yeah.
5%.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with me paying the 5%. But if I have to pay the 5%, then come and get me content creation equipment.
Exactly.
It's a funny thing with KRA. Like right now, KRA and the government have been trying to understand how they can tax freelancers.
Yes. That's what they want. You see, someone told me, it's not that they don't have access to our details. They do.
They do, in fact.
But they can't act on it. That's why they are trying to change the law on the privacy, on data privacy. Because they have seen already. They have seen the amount of money that Kenyans are transacting. But now they want to twist that law so that they can act on the data that they have. Watu si wajinga. Kenyans have... In Kenya, we have crazy systems. Were it not for corruption and all those things, if you murder someone right now, and you are with your phone in your pocket, they can remove you from whichever hole that you want, that they want to remove you from. Only that in Kenya, for you to access such high level of service, you have to pay people, you have to, I don't know what, uzungushwe. But Kenyans, when it comes, you think we are called Silicon Savannah for no reason?
You see how the SMP who was killed, investigation will go very fast.
Very fast. Very fast.
I think, honestly, in as much as we're talking about this, let's talk about how businesses are taxed.
Yeah, taxes. Wait.
Do you know, Kanjo, like is the time, I was paying, nilikuwa nalipa garbage collection fee in my license. I was in Nyeri for 5 years with a cyber cafe.
Yeah.
Do you know, Kanjo, there is no day they came to collect your nini? Takataka.
Yes.
But kosa kuwalipa kidogo.
Wanakuja.
They send goons. There's a guy who was sent one time. Alikuja na fujo. Wanakujanga na fujo. So, like, they come and take your printer. Mse alikuwa mjinga sana. They carried a printer that was defective. So I was like, enda tu kaa nayo basi. Jibambe.
Yeah.
So now the next time they come, I'll tell them, okay, you took my printer. It was 20,000. Your license is how much? Sini 8,000.
Yeah.
Sawa, si tukatane. You see, you don't use such kind of force.
Exactly.
Especially Kanjo. Have you ever noted how ruthless they are with business people?
When I was employed in Nairobi, walikuwa wanakuja, there is this license just because of putting a kibao kwa nini.
Imagine. You can imagine that.
Just because of writing the name of your business na kuonyesha direction penye inaenda, you must pay. Na imehangiwa kwa mlango ya literally duka yako. You have to pay for advertisement.
You know, these buggers sometimes wananikasirishanga juu. Soon enough utasikia wameanza kutax business accounts za social media.
Yeah.
And like I always sit down and wonder, you're taking so much money from businesses. What are you doing for these businesses?
I had someone say online, I don't know how true this is, so don't take my word for it, that the government of Kenya wants to enter in a deal with the government of the US so that they can release private data, like they can relinquish authority that Kenyan data should not be stored in Kenya by the social media companies that are running it. Because, Facebook, the Kenyan data is stored in Kenya, doesn't go anywhere. When it comes to WhatsApp, Kenyan data does not go to anywhere. So they want to relinquish that power, that every data should be stored in California. And for you to access social media, you have to show proof that you're mature, like ID.
I mean, where is the freedom of expression and the freedom of speech over there?
In Kenya, there is freedom of expression, but there is no freedom after expression.
True. Coming to think about it, the reason as to why we have this kind of a flawed system is because the leadership that we have is thinking short term.
Exactly.
These buggers think about houses, they think about roads.
That's why they want to increase taxes on businesses.
So I mean, like, I was looking at the governor of Nairobi. I mean, this guy, he pisses me off. Why would you, like, be posting ati juu umejenga barabara unatuwekea Instagram story? I've never seen some delusional creatures. I'm sorry to call them delusional. But when other countries are talking about artificial intelligence centers or even artificial intelligence breeding centers, places where people can actually come and start talking about AI, do you know a whole governor can start speaking about artificial intelligence? Na watu kwanza,
then it changes the narrative.
Kama unataka kura, right now you have to understand, you have to be modern. Like, I don't think these guys understand that development right now. Yes, you're talking about roads, yeah? But before you build roads, people need to buy these vehicles, right?
Exactly.
So they need what? They need income. So instead of concentrating on nonsensical things like, I don't know, houses and everything, yani, why don't you think about our system that can empower the people?
Yes.
In fact, if people earn more, they'll be okay with paying taxes.
I'm thinking, actually, when it comes to Kenya, there are some things that agriculture is the backbone of this nation. But still, they want to introduce other costs kwa hiyo nini. Like I saw, they want to reintroduce VAT on fertilizer. They want, because it was exempt. Ile time kulikuwa na drought. Kulikuwa na kiangazi. Mungu ametutandika sana 2023 na 2022. Like mvua was nowhere. Harvesting was completely kaput. Then those people, those demons, because they are demons, instead of selling genuine fertilizers, walikuwa naeka mchanga kutoka sijui wapi na inasiliwa vizuri. How evil do you have to be? So now that one came as a hidden cost, because we are talking about hidden costs to the agricultural sector.
Can you imagine?
Were it this way, that we have just one person who is talking about how we can incorporate artificial intelligence in farming, autonomous farming, so that we can reduce the cost of production. That's a person we can listen to. So now, if we can change the narrative to start discussing now, our tax is being used so that we can automate the health service, so that we can automate this and this and this. Not barabara, not chapo 1 million. That does not make sense.
Walibuy your machine?
Umeiona? Anyone with a... Nobody. So now, for what I can tell business people, for you to be in the good hands or in the good masses of maybe the Kenya Revenue Authority, be filing your returns. Hata kama ni nil return, because most of us really don't do transaction with the KRA pin, and the services that we offer, they're already taxed. Zimekatiwa kwa nini? Like when a person is going to pay you, asha deducted nini 5% withholding tax.
Mimi kuna time nimefanya job na kampuni, yani kalikuwa ka job tu ka 3,000
kalipo 2800.
Those guys walikata hiyo pesa. Nilikatwa. It was not 2800 by the way. Nilikatwa hiyo pesa.
Yeah.
And then I hate the whole na saa hiyo, you know, you've spent I don't know how many days trying to send an e-Teams invoice.
Yeah.
Nilimtumia akanitumia hiyo pesa. I looked at that money. Yani alafu by this yet ni pesa unapata instantly.
No.
There's a problem I have with, especially working with entities. Mi story ati nikutumie ati Elvis, we want you to come and train our 15 staff. Oh, the procedure is you need to send us an invoice, and then after you will come, after you finish, we will pay you after 30 days. Me? You pay me after 30 days? Me now, I'm young. Unfortunately, I'm not available. Like, I normally sit down and think, yeah, I've come to that entity. You want me to provide services worth 250,000. Ni watumie invoice, nijilete, lakini ningoja 30 days.
And you can imagine, if it's a proper training, for real, time yenye tunaenda training Elvis unajuanga, we don't walk alone.
Unaona?
Unawalk na team yako. You have your whole media team that is gonna be doing coverage, because you might need to use that nini somewhere else. Kama overhead yako, before hata uanze kazi ni 50,000. Before ulipwe. Your overhead is 50,000. Wanataka you pay your crew with manna from heaven or where?
And you know 30 days is not 30 days.
It's not.
It's more normally 60 days. Let me give you a brief example.
Yeah.
I've stopped completely doing influencing for companies. This is what happens. Unapewa gig.
Yeah.
150,000. They don't pay you immediately. You know what they do? They normally tell you to do the work. And then after you complete the work.
Yeah.
Si umemaliza leo, unangoja another 30 days for you to get paid. So you can imagine, like kama ni contract, ulianza like a few months ago.
Yes.
Me, there's a contract up to date. Niko na miezi 3, sijui 3, 4. Sijai lipwa. Hata nilisahau, because now it's back and forth. I don't want to mention names of brands over here, but let me tell you one thing I've also learned. Becoming an influencer is also a business.
Yeah, it is.
But you need to run it like a business. Mtu akikuja anakuambia they want you to do influencing. Me, one thing I said is this. Utakuwa unanipatia 80% before. mimi hata usinipe makaratasi. There's a company I saw, by the way. They normally send you a non-disclosure agreement.
NDA.
Wanakutumia una sign. Kumbe kwa hiyo NDA, hata before hata, they've not sent you the details about what you'll be doing. They've just sent you a non-disclosure agreement. Kusema hutabo.
You will not bong.
Wewe ukisign hivi, washaanzisha contract.
Yeah.
And then you hear how much money they are paying you. There's a company, nilikuambia nilipata gig ingine juzi ya 2500 per video. Na wananiambia ati niwatumia e-teams invoice. I thought it was $2,500. Nikaangalia 2,500 Kenyan shillings. And it's a brand, very big brand. Nilifungua hiyo kitu hivi nikasema, ni mimi niwatumie e-teams mukate 4%, 5%. Alafu munitax zingine anga sijui what. So like on average nilikuwa natengeneza kama 4,500 per month.
Hey.
Shillings, not dollars. 4,500 shillings. I am supposed to post on Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram. Okay, nikauliza huo mtu, are you paying 45? Let me understand. Are you paying 4,500 shillings per second? Ama per minute? Let me understand. Because going through their website, I'm like, hey, ati, that is our budget.
It's good. Such people, I tell them, it's good, but penye niko to honestly, with a capital H, honestly, I cannot work with you guys.
Wait.
You will find people who really need that money, go look for them. And I promise you, you won't find people on my caliber. Sometimes, drawing your line so clearly is not ego.
Of course.
It's not ego. You understand? Bro, it has taken you over 4 years to create the brand. Unakuja na 4,500 aje.
Unasema, there's hidden costs that people also don't see. Like, unaona venye mtu anaonanga a perfectly curated video. They don't understand that video probably took like lights.
Yes.
It took electricity. It took microphones. It took people.
Exactly.
It took software. Mtu hataki kuamini hivyo.
Yes.
Like, I remember one time I was offered in Nairobi nimepewa kazi zingine weird. I was offered a job. Ilikuwa last year. Nilikuwa ni employee kama graphic designer. Employment. Hapo Koja. Unaona hapo roundabout Koja. Like a guy reached out from ati aliniona TikTok. Hey. I think people see someone on TikTok and they don't take them seriously.
Correct.
So the guy offered me a job. Abuge's graphic designer full time kutoka 8 hadi 8 how much?
Alikuwa nakulipa 20,000.
15,000.
Yo! Per month.
Elvis W. Mango's 15K you can do it in a week. Ama even 3 days.
Yeah.
This guy was offering me niingiange 8.
They do printing.
I don't even know. Mi nilisoma tu hiyo barua nikasema acheka.
Yeah.
So mimi labda ningekuwa hapo na marangi. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. Like, I also
marangi.
Speaking on the business aspect.
Yeah, sure.
People also don't think that social media is like business. Me, people don't understand that we also have digital entrepreneurship. I don't need to own a product. Correct. I don't need to own something tangible.
Yes.
But I can sell data.
Absolutely.
Information is data. A class can be data. So kama naweza tumia social media to sell. I'm part of the business ecosystem.
Yes.
So one of the things I didn't want to do was to get into the product side of business. So I majorly focused on service. The service business.
Yes.
But sasa over time nika realize a service business is only scalable when you grow teams.
Yeah.
But from the service, you can sell the knowledge.
Yeah.
Unashika? The knowledge can be scaled to a massive level. This is what I mean. Kuconsultia mse graphic design, tuseme umekuja ni consult. It's a service.
Yeah.
Charge you 5K.
Exactly.
I can't consult. Like when I'm doing 5K, it's time I'm giving you.
Yeah.
But what if I said, because I'm getting so many inquiries on graphic design, let me organize a webinar. Right? Nilipishe 500 and target 100 people.
Yes.
Ona. Tuseme nimelipisha 500. I've targeted 100 people.
Yeah.
And the session is going to be how long? 1 hour.
1 hour.
That's 50K in 1 hour.
Yes.
Scalability.
Exactly.
So that's the aspect of thinking about like digital entrepreneurship. Like how you can take, you think beyond what everyone else is thinking about. Like mtu akifungua duka Nairobi, someone is selling electronics. The whole thing they have is, I bought this at 4,000 bob.
Yes.
I want to sell it at 6,000.
Yes.
Now for me, I don't have overhead cost at sijui ati I did unless software.
Yes.
That's why umesikia nikikwambia cost zangu za AI and software.
Yeah.
It's like 60,000. On a month, like on a monthly basis, ukikutana tule unakutananga na, you know, I like to experiment AI tools.
Yes.
Normally it can even go up to 80,000. But uzuri ni, can you use this tool to make more money? Right?
Yes.
If it can, very well, pay for it.
So some of the things that you can do maybe to reduce the overheads and the costs of running a business is, first of all, what we had talked about, avoiding scaling too quickly. Don't scale too quickly. Scale when you need to.
I think scale when you've built the systems.
Yeah. First of all, actually start with building the systems. Most of you have offices in places and all those things where you have a business that can completely be run from your bedroom.
You can imagine, yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Build social capital first before anything else. People can trust you even by, you know, the works that you have done. The reason why most of my clients maybe trust DB Studios and all that is because we have other systems that bring trust. Like, we are the people that run BizNet. BizNet brings together entrepreneurs. Like, if BizNet can bring together all those entrepreneurs, it would not be hard for a person to trust the services that DB Studios offers. That is social capital. Does DB Studios have an office? Absolutely not. Does BizNet have an office? Absolutely not. Does it require an office at this moment? Absolutely not. Really. In the future, maybe, because we are scaling. But at this moment, it doesn't make sense mimi nijiekele office ya 100,000 rent yenye BizNet is not giving me the money at the moment.
True.
Number 2, when it comes to compliance, again, when you open a physical location, licenses and all those things, you're gonna need them. If your business is not that big enough, I'm talking about freelancers and consultants. Kama unauza vitu, please, you need a shop.
If you're selling products.
If you're selling products and goods and all that, you need a shop. Hiyo haina shortcut. People trust physical location penye wanaweza kujia hiyo kitu yako. For us who are in the soft skills, video we can transfer with the internet and the cloud.
Sorry, naishi hapo.
Mtu hataki physical location. Video akujangi na gunia. Ati nimekujia 5GB, niwekee lita 2. Yeah, you see?
I also think lawyers can offer freelance legal services.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine. Her name is nimesahau. She's a financial advisor. She works with IC Alliance Insurance, but on her side, she offers freelance financial advisory. She doesn't really need an office. What she does, just after work hours, that's when now she opens her business now to consult. Hiyo masai ya nini ya usiku, and she's doing very well. Does she need an office? Absolutely not, because anytime you need a financial advisory, yeye anaingia kwa Excel sheet yake, kuna templates hapo ametengeneza on how to budget hiyo nini, this goes to insurance and all, budgeting your salary, financial advisory tips and all that. Muna jump in on a call for 1 hour or 2 hours. Yeye anapata zake akiwa kwa ofisi one on one. What difference does it really make? Kwa sababu atakupea to the same document.
Sure.
Transfer and you go fill out your nini. So reducing cost, if you have a member of a team, and really, to be really honest, uelewangi nini anafanyanga, let that person go.
Yeah, if ako tu
ujui nini anafanyanga, but you pride in having a team.
I think all business owners, there are few people I think a business owner needs to have. Number 1, social media manager, graphic designer, or digital marketer. You also need to have a videographer or a video editor. A lawyer is important.
Yes.
I also think you need to also have AI tools.
Yes.
Zenye ziko hapo. Like, if you want something done, you can actually do it.
Yes.
And then I think you also need to have content creators.
Yes. And right now, actually, one way of also reducing cost of running that business is also turning the brand from now the business brand to a personal brand.
Sure.
It becomes very easy because you are now the one doing some of the things that your influencers could be doing for you.
Yeah, you don't have to pay them.
Yeah, you don't have to pay them, but you can pay someone to build your brand.
True.
That is why people like us, brand managers, exist to guide you all the way.
Sure.
Or in creating your nini. Having a brand manager actually is one way of reducing cost when it comes to marketing, because that person will advise you according to what you need, not what you want. Because most business people, when it comes to marketing, maybe waliona a marketing idea somewhere, now they are buying it, wanasonga nayo. But if you have a brand manager, that person can advise you, kwambia now, apana, I know you want this, but this is what you need.
True.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so
there's a lot to learn from that. And then I also think keep your operations lean. There are guys who akitengeneza 100,000 today, tomorrow you make $1 million, you're like, okay, 1 million is guaranteed the other month. So you find that someone, you make 1 million, there are guys who are just impatient. Unaenda unanunua stock.
Yes.
Unaona?
Yes.
Ati juu umeongezea sasa. Like, I think before you start scaling, understand how you can make your operations.
Exactly.
Like how should digital marketing work? How should the sales team work?
Yes.
Like, everything, like even the podcast is a system. Everyone knows, like, why not, like, everyone comes in over here, kila mtu anajua what they're supposed to be doing, where this is supposed to be. That's a system that was created. And you see, no one needs to be instructed.
Exactly.
So a business should be running like that. Where hata mwenyewe you created systems that work.
Exactly.
So you tell people, like for me, I normally have a video editor. Namwambianga, enda utafuta ile video yenye unaona ni mzuri na wewe TikTok. Yenye unaona imetrend.
Yes.
Use that one. Don't wait for me to come and tell you things. If you have like a virtual assistant, tell her or him, listen, if someone wants to book an appointment, listen to what they have to say. Go to the meetings on my behalf. I don't have to be there.
Exactly.
I came to realize that the more you tell people to act like you, like you trust them.
Yes.
Unaona mtu ukimwambia, I'll trust you. Do this for me. I don't know why, but people, like, they do it. Unaona ile unaambianga mtu, fanya tu hivi. And you don't follow up on them.
Yeah.
And you tell them, I'm depending on you for this. As compared to telling people, micromanaging people, unamwambia, like if you have a graphic designer, tell them, I need a poster that is going to advertise this particular product.
Yes.
But now most business owners, they like to micromanage every single aspect. It's not beautiful, it's not you're looking for something beautiful, yet your competitors just looking for functional things.
Yeah, functional thing, yeah.
Like you're looking for a video that has aesthetics to sell, yet all you need is a video to talk about your product. Like mtu anataka kuongelelea hii kikombe. Kikombe ni ya 50 bob. Si hiyo hata tunaweza shootia hapa.
Exactly.
But the person anaenda anafanywa makeup,
yes,
anachorwa sijui nini.
Yes.
Costs, wasting time.
Twende West rooftop.
Uonyesha watu, like you see someone selling a laptop, ameenda kwa hoteli ku advertise hiyo. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, si ukae tu kwa hiyo duka yako. You take your phone, you pop it out and you shoot a video. I mean, honestly, sorry, wacha situmie jina, nilikuwa nataka kusema burger.
Ushaisema.
Honestly, let me say some burgers are just they bother me. Because wewe mwenyewe kama you have a paint shop, wewe una painting, right? You normally inaitwa spray painting here.
Yeah.
Stop shooting videos ukiwa kwa hoteli ukiambia watu, by the way, normally do spray paint. Go to your shop.
Hey.
Stop wasting time. Ambia mtu wako spray painting, tukae hapa tuongee. Yes. Done.
Ama hata site.
But you see, most business owners in Kenya, they like aesthetics.
That's the problem.
Do you know there are people who are running businesses, they are in losses. They literally, the businesses are in losses. But ukiangalia the business owner, you can't believe. You can actually know the reason as to why that business is running in losses. Amevaa nguo ya 50,000. Sindio?
Yeah.
Like, these are normal things.
That person is never in business.
And then most businesses in Kenya are nizile za short-term goals. Short-term, not long-term.
Yes.
Me, I normally say, if in your business, you can't explain what you do to your child, close that business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kama mtoto wako hawezi.
That is so true.
Kama mtoto wako hawezi kuja, I understand what you do, close that business. It is nothing like generational wealth. Wewe ni takataka unauza hapo tu. Na ile sikuitaisha. That's the thing. Because, like, you want DB, like, when you have a daughter or you have a son, akifika 16 you can take that young person mwende na yeye umfanyie mentorship. I'm telling you by that time mtoto anafika 21 probably kuna new ideas that will be revolving around the world. That child is going to scale your business
very quickly.
That's how you do. Like if you can't explain the roots and the strings of what you do as a business person to your child, hata ujaribu kuelezea employees, it is not going to work.
Yes.
If the same, like I normally say, if you have a wife, if she can't understand what you do,
yes,
if she doesn't have a clue, you're not running a business.
Yeah.
We uko job.
By the way,
uko job na itafungwa, bibi yako akuje umwambie biashara imeharibika.
Literally wewe ni kufuta ulifuta.
Na ulikuwa unauza nini wewe by the age usiku anajua. Like sometimes I normally think that if you're looking for that generational aspect of growing your business, stop wasting your time on meaningless things.
Yeah.
Like unapata mtu, majority of businesses in Nairobi have been set up juu mtu anaogopa kulala njaa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me I said if I start a business and hiyo biashara ni ya kunipea 500 nisikufe njaa, that's not a business. That's employment. The thing I need to sort is kama ni njaa niko nayo, I need to get something that allows me to cater for my basic needs.
Correct.
Si nimeweza kupata 10,000 per month, nimeweza kunini chakula. Sasa now let me concentrate on a business. But so many people, umeanza content creation, umeanza kuuza ring light, you're in business. Saa hiyo uko na watoto 7 wananyonya hapo. You get? Unashika?
My lord.
Let's run to and be honest. Because you didn't start that business to create a business.
Yeah.
Hawa watoto wanahitaji ya kukula. So true. People don't think they don't think like entrepreneurs. Ni survivors.
Yeah. Actually, ni survival. And I think before you even start a business, and I think as we wind up,
tumeshenyenta sana.
So now, when it comes to properly reducing cost, I think leadership skills is the number one.
Exactly. Leadership and communication.
Yes. Because if you can't be able to communicate the exact thing that you want to achieve, you'll spend more money on hiring useless people, on investing on a useless idea, on driving marketing campaigns that don't really work. Because as a person, and leadership doesn't really mean you can be able to send mangoes inja na akimbie. That's not leadership. It comes from even personal leadership. Yeah, because you expect so much from your team that you're not doing. Your team will copy you. I think you open a business day one, unaingia job saa 6. It doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I was working with a certain brand and I changed their structure. Yeah. Now they are one of the best in the specific area that they are in. The structure was because I have employed people naeza ingia ile masaa yenye nataka kuingia. It doesn't work like that. We turned around the whole thing until that person carried the vision by themselves and they started personal leadership journey. I'll be the first one to open this business. I'll be the last person to close. Receptionist akifunga hivi, atafunga 5 minutes after mimi nimetoka. Unaget? Receptionist akichelewa, atakuta nikiwa nimemngojea hapo kwa nini? Isikuange, mimi nampigia simu, nishafika, hajafika, na the reason why hajafika, anajua, boss wangu ataingia saa 6, so nikifungua saa 4 niko safe. And your business needs to run from saa 2. What does that make? It makes cost of running that business very expensive. The business that you could, kama ni duka, easy walk-ins and all that, traffic mingi sana ikuanga asubuhi na jioni. Because that's when the middle class is wanaenda kupambana na hali yao.
Wanaenda kupiga honi.
Exactly. That's when the middle class wanaenda kupambana na hali yao, and that's when you can make a killing. In the morning. Most purchases happen in the morning. Maybe you're selling office essentials. Open kazi yako asubuhi. Mtu amesahau bairo yake kwa nini kwa nyumbani, akipata bookshop yako ndio iko open, atajua. Akisahau kitu, shop yako ndio iko open. But wewe unafunguanga saa 6, by saa 10 unawashwa kuenda. Unaenda wapi? Lack of leadership. Now, will it be a surprise if you're not making money at all and at the end of the month unarudi kwa mfuko to pay for that rent ya hiyo nini? Will it be a surprise? No. So if you're not a good leader and you start with personal leadership, costs and overheads zenye ziko unexpected, they will always haunt you because you have not laid first of all a company culture, number 2 a strategy that is working, and number 3 you have not communicated your vision properly. That one, you will spend millions upon millions from your pocket and the business is not making sense. Yeah, that's the EE PowerTalk. See you in the next one. My name is Daddy Blessing.
See you in the next one.